Lord Chesterfield's letters to his son. This one dated November 20th, 1739. Dear boy, as you are now reading the Roman history, I hope you do it with the care and attention which it deserves. The utility of history consists principally in the examples it gives us of the virtues and vices of those who have gone before us, upon which we ought to make the proper observations. History animates and excites us to the love and the practice of virtue, by showing us the regard and veneration that was always paid to great and virtuous men in the times in which they lived, and the praise and glory with which their names are perpetuated and transmitted down to our times. The Roman history furnishes more examples of virtue and magnanimity or greatness of mind than any other. It was a common thing to see their consuls and dictators, who you know were their chief magistrates, taken from the plough to lead their armies against their enemies, and after victory returning to their plough again, and passing the rest of their lives in modest retirement, a retirement more glorious, if possible, than the victories that preceded it. Many of their greatest men died so poor that they were buried at the expense of the public. Curius, who had no money of his own, refused a great sum, and the Samnites offered it him, saying that he saw no glory in having money himself, but in commanding those who had. Cicero relates it thus, and it's a Latin inscription which I cannot read. And Fabricius, who had often commanded the Roman armies and has often triumphed over their enemies, was found by his fireside eating those roots and herbs which he had planted and cultivated himself in his own field. Seneca tells us thus, it looks like it's about Fabricius, Latin inscription. Scipio, after a victory he had obtained in Spain, found among the prisoners a young princess of extreme beauty, who he was informed was soon to have been married to a man of quality of that country. He ordered her to be entertained and attended with the same care and respect as if she had been in her father's house, and as soon as he could find her lover, he gave her to him and added to her portion the money that her father had brought from her ransom for her ransom. Valerius Maximus says, another Latin inscription, this was a most glorious example of moderation, continuance, and generosity, which gained him the hearts of all the peoples of Spain and made them say, as Livy tells us, another Latin inscription, such are the rewards that always crown virtue, and such the characters that you should imitate if you would be a great and a good man, which is the only way to be a happy one. Adieu. And so ends this letter. Thank you, BookTube.